Struggling with what to post on Instagram, or maybe spending way too much time staring at a blank screen or scrolling for inspo? I've got you. The Content Clarity Collective gives you weekly post prompts that follow my proven 5-step framework to nurture, build connection, and earn trust so your posts actually lead to sales. This strategy has helped hundreds of mompreneurs make more money on Instagram without the stress or guesswork. And it's just $37 a month, which is way less than the cost of taking your family out to dinner. Head to sociallyyours.biz/content clarity collective, all one word, and let's make your Instagram work for you and your business, not the other way around. Instagram threw a whole pile of updates at us in 2024. Some are shiny and useful and cool, and others are like that one kitchen gadget you bought and never use. I'm looking at you, avocado saver, as if the avocado isn't immediately going to turn brown anyway. Today, I'm going to break down which features actually deserve your time and how to use them intentionally. I also want to share how I'm going to use Instagram to help my business in 2025, given these features and given trend shifts that I'm seeing. Welcome to the Mompreneur Mastery Podcast, where we share actionable Instagram strategies that fit into a busy mom's schedule so that you can get more engagement, more leads, and more sales in less time. I'm Sydney O'Brien, an Instagram strategist who started my business with 3 kids under 5 and found a way to do it without sacrificing quality time with my family and only working 2 hours a day. I love helping other mom business owners find that seemingly impossible mom work-life balance instead of spending too much time creating content that isn't getting them the results they want. If you're an overwhelmed but very ambitious business owner and you want to strategize the heck out of your Instagram account so that you can save time and make more sales, you're in the right place. After taking a couple weeks off to spend the holidays with my family, I am feeling re-energized, recharged, and mostly ready to get back to work. Now, in 2024, we got some really exciting Instagram updates, but if we try to use them all, we are going to end up with burnt out brains and no results from spreading ourselves too thin. There's so much stuff on there. I just cannot imagine spending all the time to use every single feature on Instagram trying to make more sales for my business. But the good news is you don't have to. We'll go over some of the key ones. Now, I don't know about you. I don't really do full on like New Year's resolutions, like goals and things. They're just not my thing. I do like having very like general goals or intentions or words to focus on that I can apply to business and life and parenting, all aspects of my life. So for this year, for 2025, my word of the year is going to be intentional. And that is, like I said, this is across the board, life, business, parenting, all the things. So when it comes to Instagram for 2025, I want to make sure that I'm doing it intentionally by focusing on the features, the strategies, and the tactics that I know are going to work. And I'm just kind of going to ignore the rest. This obviously might change across the year if new, important, flashy features come about, but I don't have the time or brain space to try and work in things that I don't know if they will work when I know that what I'm doing already is working, if that makes sense. I just don't have it in me. Other stuff is going on, and I do not have the time or energy to waste time on stuff that might not actually get me the results that I want. Okay, so today I want to give you the details on the updates that we've gotten so far and how to make them work for you for your business so Instagram doesn't overrun your life. One of the biggest updates was also one of the most recent, and that was actually trial reels. And I know a ton of people were really excited about the prospect of trial reels, being able to trial your reels before publishing them to your audience. Basically, you post a reel, you set it to trial reel mode, and Instagram will show it to non-followers that are similar to your followers, so you can test it and kind of see how it performs before publishing it to your own feed. Now, I tested this out, and I don't like it. I don't. I actually kind of hate it, and I think it's dumb. So to be clear, this is something I have only tested on my account. So it could be different for different accounts, different audiences, different businesses. But this isn't something my clients have wanted to try, so it's not something I've tried with other businesses or other accounts. So that's the feedback I'm giving. It is just from testing it for myself. But I did try 3 different types of reels to see if it made any difference, and they all got basically the same results. So I tested a reel that was like a meme type reel. I did one that was like me lip syncing to a trending audio. And then I did one that was original audio, just me talking to the camera. All three of them went into trial mode. All three of them, I got a notification from Instagram that they needed more time than the original 24 hours to find people in my audience that were not already following me. And all three reels got around 100 views while in the trial reel mode over the course of 3 days and absolutely 0 interactions. And I did these at different times, spread out. But each time after I got that notification from Instagram, I deleted it and I just re-uploaded it and published it, the exact same reel, the exact same caption and everything, straight to my followers. And every time it got more views and more engagement. And it was pretty typical views and engagement for me. It's not like they went off like crazy or anything, but it wasn't nearly as bad as they did in the trial reel. But if I had published them after doing the trial reel to my followers, it wouldn't have done anything, because the way the Instagram algorithm works is you publish it and they pay attention to how many interactions and how many views a reel gets shortly after posting. And that's what determines how many accounts they'll push that reel out to. So because it had been sitting there for 3 days already and had minimal views and 0 interactions, it wasn't going anywhere. Nothing was going to happen with that reel. That 3 days with nothing is a long time. So yeah, it's definitely not something I'm going to waste my time with. But if you've tried it and you got different results or it worked super well for you, please send me a message on Instagram. I would love to hear about other people's experiences with it, because I know different audiences do different things. It might be different for bigger accounts, for smaller accounts, for, I don't know, whatever. I'm super interested to hear about other people's experiences with it. My handle on Instagram is @socially.yours.strategist. So send me a message there. But yeah, for me, huge waste of time. Feel free to skip it. Now, the second big change, it was 2 big changes, and they were both to carousels. And I was really excited about them because I love a good carousel. Honestly, I love making them. It's a great way to share a lot of information on Instagram, where people are typically not into consuming a lot of information, right? When you're on social media, you're very much in like the scrolling mode, just occasionally double tapping. You're not really in the mood to like sit there and read a novel or anything. But with carousels, you can break down bigger ideas into smaller chunks so that people actually read them, which is very nice. And I love them for not being reels. I like reels. Reels are fun, but 93.7% of the time, I would say, that's a super, just very general number, I am not camera ready, nor is my house ready to be in the background of a reel. So I am usually in full-on mom goblin mode, and reels are just not ideal for that. So the 2 changes to carousels are that, 1, you can add music to them now, which boosts your visibility. You get like the extra reach from using a trending audio, and it moves carousels to the Reel tab on the app, so you get more views there as well. And the second change was that you can add up to 20 slides now. Before it was only 10. 20 might seem a little crazy. Like, what the heck am I going to put on 20 slides? But I love this, and here is why. Like I said, you can share a lot of information on a carousel, but because people are not really on Instagram to read a whole bunch, if you can break down these ideas into really small digestible chunks and phrase them in a way that keeps people swiping by like using curiosity gaps, people will actually consume your content a lot more than if you have a whole bunch of text. So I have been having great success with this, with not necessarily using all 20 slides, but at least more than 10, so that I can make sure each slide is short and sweet and to the point and people are actually reading it. Actually, this change prompted me to redo carousels that sell. It's like a pack of templates that I sell. Templates with examples for selling your offers on Instagram. And I was able to lengthen them and make sure that each slide had curiosity gaps so that people would keep swiping, and made sure they all also had double hooks. Because on Instagram, when you see a carousel, if someone doesn't stop the first time to read it, it can show up again in their feed. But instead of showing them that first slide of the carousel, Instagram will show them the second. So you can use 2 different hooks on the first and second slides so you have two opportunities to grab people's attention. So I made sure my templates have those as well and take all of those new carousel features into account. And I have been having great success with that, taking advantage of those carousel changes. One of the other changes that Instagram made this year was you can no longer follow hashtags. This is kind of silly because hashtags have been phasing out for a long time, so it doesn't make a huge difference. I will say, though, I did follow hashtags as part of my outbound engagement strategy. So I would follow hashtags that were relevant to my audience, and then when they popped up in my feed, new posts from people I don't follow, I would see that it was because I followed those hashtags and that post used that hashtag, and I would be able to comment on it for outbound engagement, which would get me more visible among people who are in my audience but don't already follow me. So now that I won't be able to do that, I have found other accounts that my audience follows and I've added them to my favorites. So they show up first in my feed. So anytime I open the app, someone is there for me to comment on to still get that outbound engagement and that visibility. So if you were following hashtags for your outbound engagement strategy, switch to adding certain accounts to your favorites. It's very helpful. The fourth update I want to mention is kind of boring, actually. It's not nearly as flashy as like trial reels or anything, but it is also one of my favorites, and that is the ability to filter and sort your DMs. There's more DM organization available now. And it's one of my favorites because DMs is where most of your sales happen on Instagram, right? It's not in your posts. It's not in your comment section. It's from one-on-one conversations with people in DMs. So while this update isn't super groundbreaking, it is very helpful for following up with people, warming up leads, building that connection, building that trust, and then actually selling. Now, if you're not doing all those things in your DMs, or you know you should be, but you're not sure how, head back to episode 58, where I outline the DM strategy that got me a 50% sales conversion rate, because that is pretty amazing. The bulk of sales happen in DMs. Do not sleep on DMs because you'll end up leaving a lot of sales on the table and no one wants that, okay? All right, so those were 4 of the many, many Instagram updates that happened in 2024. If you have questions about any of those or any other ones or how to use them, go ahead and find me on Instagram. I am at socially.yours.strategist. Send me a message, ask me your question, and I'm happy to explain more or walk you through it. But for now, I want to switch gears and talk about how I am going to be using Instagram in 2025 so it supports my business and doesn't overrun my life. Because in 2025, I am being intentional. So to back up just a little bit, I'm going to give you a little bit of peek behind the curtain of Socially Yours, which is my business, in case you didn't know. So one of the most popular formats online businesses to get sales is promoting a lead magnet. People that sign up for the lead magnet go through an email funnel, and then they hopefully buy whatever it is that you're selling. I have been finding I am having much higher sale conversion rates with, instead of doing a lead magnet and then an upsell, doing a low ticket offer or a challenge, something where people are investing either time or a little bit of money or effort, and then doing an upsell to a higher ticket offer, typically my memberships, so that there's monthly recurring revenue for me. So when people are either investing some money or some effort or time, getting some bit of sense of what it is like to work with me, what I'm all about, I'm finding they're much, much, much more likely to actually join one of my memberships. So that is what I'm going to be focusing on, right? Because I know that is what is helping me make a little bit of money from like the little cash infusion from the low ticket offers, but also higher monthly recurring revenue from membership sales. So when it comes to Instagram, instead of promoting lead magnets, I am going to be promoting challenges people can join and maybe flash sales on like digital products, one-time trainings, things like that, with the upsell to a membership, which is honestly kind of easier than selling a higher ticket offer on Instagram, because especially now that everyone and their mom has an online business and is on Instagram, it just takes a lot less connection and trust building and like planning of content to make sure you're hitting each of those 5 steps you need before you can make a sale, there's just like a lot less of that to sell a low ticket item or to join like a free challenge or something. It's an easier yes for people to buy a $7 or $27 thing from a stranger on the internet than to pay several hundred or several $1,000s for help from a basic stranger on the internet. Not saying you can't do it. You absolutely can. Before I even had an email list, I was fully booked with one-on-one client work solely through Instagram. It's definitely possible, but it takes more time and effort than I have to give right now at this point in my life. So working on that intentional piece, I'm focusing on what works and what fits with my life, the time and the energy I have to give right now. So that is how I came to the current model that I will be focusing on for 2025. And it might change, over the course of the year. Things can change, trends can shift, but this is at least what I am starting with. Because again, my word of the year is intentional, and this is my way of doing that because I know it's working and it saves me time and energy by having some email automation set up and not having to spend as much time on Instagram promoting bigger ticket items that need that more engagement, more connection, more trust. If you are having success with selling higher ticket stuff on Instagram, do that. Or getting clients there for one-on-one work, absolutely keep it up. This is just what is working for me. And I just wanted to give you an idea of how you could be using Instagram in 2025 if you also want to focus on intention. Or if, you have been trying to sell higher ticket items or client work and that's not working. So those are some of the big things that happened in 2024 for Instagram. And that is what I'm going to be focusing on in 2025 for business and how that is going to play out for Instagram. Just to do a quick recap, trial reels were meh. Music and carousels with more slides were yes, please. Losing hashtag follows or whatever. Get intentional about Instagram. Get intentional about where you're spending your time. Get intentional about how you're spending your time. And lean into offers and strategies that make sense for you and your business, and most importantly, your life. And remember, you do not have to do it all. You just have to do the right things. Now, if that still seems like too much, if even just figuring out what to post on Instagram feels like a job that you just do not have the time or energy or brain space for, I want to invite you to join the Content Clarity Collective. It's one of my memberships where you get strategized weekly post prompts delivered straight to your inbox. So you are never stuck wondering what the heck to post, to nurture your audience, to build that connection and build that trust and actually get sales. So there's no more hunting for the perfect trend or just sitting there scrolling your phone, spinning your reels, trying to come up with content. Just clarity, consistency, and results. You can head to the link in the show notes to get more information to join Content Clarity Collective so that you can make 2025 the most effective, easiest, and most intentional year for your business on Instagram yet. Thank you so much for listening to Mompreneur Mastery, simple Instagram strategy for busy moms. If you were listening to this episode and found yourself nodding along, I would love it if you would find me on Instagram and send me a message telling me your biggest takeaway. My handle is @socially.yours.strategist. And don't forget to grab your free 1 month of Conversation Starters content calendar so that you know exactly what to post to get more comments without spending hours brainstorming Instagram post ideas. You can get it at sociallyyours.biz/content-calendar or head to the link in the show notes.